Well, this is a little different. You can't buy this automatic cat groomer. Well, at least not yet. Right now there's only one of them, and it's sitting right here. I've been using the original version for a while now, and it works well at giving me an extra hand to control the cat hair around here. But I couldn't stop wondering about one thing. What if it had two entrances? Would the cats use it more? And if they did, would it capture more hair? So I asked the company, PawSwing, if they'd build me one. And they actually did. And surprisingly, they also sponsored this little experiment. So for the past month, my 4 cats have been putting it to the test. Here it is. It uses the same soft, tongue-inspired bristles that pull loose fur off as cats brush past them. Except now there's an opening on both ends. A cat walks in on one side, gets brushed as it enters, walks through, and gets brushed again as it exits. The Neo Plus body is also noticeably larger, which ended up being an important part of the experiment too. So the question became pretty simple. If they had a choice, which one would they actually use daily? While you can't exactly ask a cat which one they prefer, they're pretty good at voting the only way they know how. With food. Each of these PawSwings come with a little silicone bowl that's meant to help cats get used to using it, so it ended up being perfect for this little experiment. For the first few days, it was actually pretty even. 2 cats mostly used the original, and 2 leaned towards the prototype. That made sense because the original had been sitting in the apartment for months, so it already smelled familiar. Halfway through the month, I swapped positions of both boxes to keep things fair. From there, I just kept counting. To keep it simple, I only counted each cat's first choice at snack time. Otherwise, Latte would have completely ruined the experiment. After he finished with one bowl, he'd immediately check the other groomer to see if anybody still had food or had something better. By the end of the month, I had 120 votes, and here's how they broke down. The original, 41, and the prototype, 79. So about 2 out of every 3 snack times, they chose the 2-entry PawSwing version. Now, I can't say for certain how much of that was the second exit and how much was the larger body. My guess, it was probably a bit of both. Given the choice, my cats definitely seemed like they were coming back to this one. But before we empty it out and see all the furry treasures, living with it every day explained a little more. Rosie almost treated it as a spacious retreat away from her brothers, especially at night. She'd casually just sleep in there even when there weren't any treats inside. Ash wasn't picky. If there was food involved, he was happy either way. Latte, well, being a Bengal, he didn't seem to care either. For Loki, he took his time with a single entry box, but warmed up to the 2 opening version much more quickly. Little by little, he used it more often until it simply became part of his routine. But watching the cats every day made one thing pretty clear. They all used it a little differently. And the last thing I want to check, if the cats were using the prototype more, was it actually collecting more fur? So let's empty both boxes and find out. Brown fur. It's time for Rosie's favorite box. Well, the prototype definitely had more, which wasn't all that surprising. And I don't think a second opening makes each trip through the brushes any more efficient or effective. It just seems to make the cats more willing to use it, and that means more trips through the groomer itself. So after a month, here's what I take away. If you have 1 or 2 cats, I think the original version is actually a good product and does what it's supposed to do. But in multi-cat households like mine, cat dynamics can be a little complicated, and that's where the larger body and second exit seem to help. Of course, this idea didn't come out of nowhere. Feline environmental guidelines actually recommend hiding spaces or enclosed spaces with more than 1 exit in multi-cat homes. Cats generally feel more comfortable when they always have an escape route. Whether that's what my cats were responding to here, I can't say for sure, but the results were definitely interesting. I still can't believe PawSwing listened to me, because somewhere an individual had to explain why they were making a cat grooming box with 2 exits because one cat enthusiast kept asking if it would work. Now, if you're interested in the version you can actually buy today, the PawSwing Neo Plus, which is the larger version of the PawSwing Neo, I'll leave a link and a discount code in the description. And now I'm curious, if you have multiple cats and are struggling with their hair, would you actually want a 2-door version? Let PawSwing know in the comments, because right now this is still the only one. And did you know I also built my own automatic cat groomer using about $35 worth of materials and put it head to head with the PawSwing Neo. It actually worked a lot better than I expected. You can watch that one right here. I'll see you there.